Hello everybody, Steve Gadsby here for ServiceGab.com, and today we are going to be talking about vital sales concepts. Because you know what? Nothing matters more than selling the jobs. Nothing. Literally. You need to sell jobs constantly if you want to be in business. To quickly introduce myself, my name is Steve Gadsby, and myself, my business partner, and a group of our amazing employees, we built a business to about $3.5 million doing products and services for people's houses, primarily related to the HVAC business, so heating, air conditioning, that kind of stuff. So quickly, I'm going to run through the top 10 points. We made a list of all of our top vital sales concepts. We share it with our outside salespeople, and we constantly refine the list. So I'm going to run through the top 10. We have a top 25, but I'll do that on another broadcast. So point number one, treat every sale as if it's sellable. Don't ever go into a house. Don't ever take a phone call from somebody. Don't ever get a lead from somewhere and treat it as though it's anything but sellable. They might be giving you objections. They might be telling you, don't, well, I don't know, I don't know if I'm going to make a decision right now. Maybe they'll say that right when you get there. That's not your job to decipher if that's actually what they mean. Your job is to close the sale every single time, or attempt to close the sale every single time. That's not being aggressive. It's not being rude. It's attempting to sell the job and treating every sale as if it's potentially sellable. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a sale and I didn't expect to sell the job, but I asked for the sale and I got the job. So it is absolutely critical to always, always, always treat every sale as if it's sellable. So that leads to point number two. Never, ever blame anything else except yourself if you don't get a sale, if you don't sell something. So you're going to be wrong a certain percentage of the time. There was some external factor on a very small percentage of them, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it 10%, you can say it was because there was a hurricane coming in and they were too distracted. Fine, fair enough. But if you err on the side of blaming yourself every time you don't sell something, you're going to be way better off. You're going to be 100 times better off. So I've literally been in thousands of sales, literally thousands of sales. And after every single sale, if I don't sell it, I go, how did I screw that up, right? So that's pretty tough, right? It's a pretty tough way to look at things. However, your brain starts really thinking. You start getting extremely creative. And, when you ask the question, you get the answer. It might not come back for an hour later. It might not come back for 2 hours later. But if you put it out there, I find the universe sends you back an answer at some point in time. So 2 hours later, I'll be sitting there having a cup of coffee, and I thought, oh, God, his real objection was price. His real objection was that he was worried about it scratching the floor, and I should have addressed that, right? So the next time I'm in a similar situation, I'll properly address it, and I'll know what to say. I'll know what to do, and we'll sell the job. So over time, you can't be great right away, but you can be adequate right away. Let's say the average sales closing percentage, for whatever industry you're in is 25 to start with. Over time, you go to 27, 29, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Over time, if you constantly blame yourself, your brain starts figuring out all the opportunities that you've been missing. But these are the salespeople that are the absolute worst. If you employ these people or you ever interview them, the ones that start going, well, I couldn't sell it. The wife wasn't home. I couldn't sell it. There was snow outside. Nobody's going to buy anything right now. I couldn't sell it. The Olympic Games is coming to town and people are too distracted. Fire them. Fire them immediately. Don't put up with it at all. These people will kill your business. These people will take all your leads that you've paid hundreds and thousands of dollars for and throw them in the toilet. So hire people who blame themselves. Hire people who are critical of themselves. Hire people who take it personally. So be truly neutral about what they buy. So if, for our products, we lay everything out, and I'll do this on a future broadcast, how we do it, but we lay everything out on a bronze, silver, gold, platinum scale. So the least expensive to the most expensive, we lay down 4 choices. All of our products are the exact same margin, and that's another future broadcast, which is basically how we set our margins. But all of them will make the same amount of money. I truly don't care if they buy the most expensive one or the least expensive one. The mistake I see a lot of our competitors doing is they constantly try to sell people the most expensive one. It's insane. Don't try to sell people the most expensive one. A, they don't trust you anymore when you're trying to sell them that. Sell people what they want to buy, right? And then tell them, great. I think that's the perfect. Tell them why they made a great decision. It's not your job to convince people to buy the more expensive one or the least expensive one. It's your job to lay out all the information and let them decide, right? Your job is not to push them in a certain direction. As soon as you do, you've lost trust. What I found, if I'm in a sale and one of the people, let's say there's truly a fantastic opportunity to buy, say, the silver package because some massive thing came out. Even if I start pushing them down that road, they'll start getting resistant because they're thinking, what's in it for him? Why is he trying to convince me this? And they'll start looking at the bronze or the gold. So be really neutral about what they're going to buy. It's not your business what they buy. Number 4, at the end of the day, no matter what you do with all this, you're selling trust, right? You need to answer the question, why are they going to give you $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 or $200? Why do they trust you, right? Be trustable. Don't just act trustable. Be a trustable person. So, and that goes in every possible way. Do everything you possibly can to be a stand-up person. Never ever mess with a customer. Never lie to a customer. Never do anything possible to be untrustable. Even in the back of your mind, knowing that you've never messed around with a customer or screwed a customer. And the customers can sense that. They're very intuitive. So it's all about trust, right? They're going to ask you multiple questions, kind of like, do I need to replace this right now? They know that your biased answer will be yes. The biased answer, the untrustworthy answer to say, yes, you must replace it right now, ma'am. Otherwise, it could cause a fire. The trustworthy answer to say is, you don't have to. And this is literally what I tell people. You don't have to replace it right now. It's like a car from 1985, right? It's got the same problems. It uses more fuel. It's more likely to break down, but you don't have to, right? There's reasons to do it right now. There's this little rebate. There's a discount from the supplier. If you wait X number of years, it's going to pay for itself anyway, but you don't have to. And you know what happens? They trust me, right? Because I was honest. So be trustable. Number 5. The same thing. Don't lie to people. That goes actually back to your people on the phones. Let's say something got messed up, something didn't get scheduled right. Don't make things up like, oh, he couldn't do it because he's having a baby. He broke his leg. All this kind of stuff. It circles back around to the trustable thing. He'll go there 2 days later, and the customer will be like, oh, congratulations, you had a baby. He'll be like, what are you talking about? I had a baby. It won't work. It's a bad idea. Always go the hard road. Always be dead honest. Tell the customer, look, we screwed up. We should have, we should have sent it out. It's our bad. Give them something for free, for wasting their time. So, it truly, truly does take a lot of energy to do sales. So, right, and that doesn't matter what you're selling. That could be somebody calling into your office, buying a service. It could be you out on the road selling a product to somebody's house. You need to put in the necessary effort. Otherwise, you're not going to get the sale, right? So I find the universe will pick up on how much effort you're putting towards it. And if you're not putting adequate effort, it'll go, you know what, there's somebody out there working harder than you, and let's give it to somebody else. So go through the process. Go through the entire sales process. And that's another broadcast, is the entire sales process start to finish. But make sure you put the adequate effort in. And if you're mailing it in, and if you're not doing enough. So number 8, never say no to anything. So oftentimes customers ask me, do you deal in XYZ brand? When you're in business for long enough, you can deal in any brand. You can get access to anything that you want. But generally, the true answer is there's brands I hate. There's brands that I think are awful. I don't tell customers that because it creates a bit of mistrust. It seems like I'm trying to talk them out of things. So even when they say a brand that I don't personally like, they say, oh, do you deal in XYZ brand? We can get it. Yep, that's a good brand for this and this application. We don't deal with it primarily because we find this brand is quieter, better, less expensive. You name the reasons why you actually deal in the other brand, but don't say no. Go, yep, we can get access to that, right? So as soon as you say no, you've created mistrust, right? You've created them thinking you're trying to dissuade them from that brand. So you don't want to go down that road. Number 9, nothing, and I said this at the beginning, literally nothing is more important than selling jobs. Nothing. So the big turning point for our business, we were doing, a couple of years in a row, we did say 100,000, 200,000. We spiked up massively to 2 million in like 1 year. We spent a number of years growing again to 3.5 million in sales. The big turning point for us was a change in thinking. So the thinking was, before we thought of ourselves as a furnace company. We're not a furnace company. You are a sales and marketing company. You are a sales and marketing company. You are in the business of selling things, right? That is your business. So you can't ever lose sight of that. I even find if our business starts to slow down, everybody's got to get back on board. Everybody in my company can sell. Everybody I hire can sell. The people in the office, the service guys. To a limited ability for some people. It's not the personality type, but everybody is in some way a salesperson. So as soon as the business starts to, contract a little bit, I think let's get the sales mentality back. Let's start pushing the sales. And it's not just a selling jobs. It's a whole entire fired up energy. It's a huge energy swing to go from a non-sales mentality to a sales mentality. So you always got to be thinking in terms of sales. Nothing. If you can't sell another job, you're dead. Send all your employees home. Send home your office people. Send home everybody, because nothing is more important than sales. Well, it's so important. It looks like you even had it 2 slides in a row. Bam! Nothing's more important than sales times 2. Number 10, don't let any part of the process interfere with communicating and connecting. We've made the mistake before of trying to switch over to iPads instead of printed out sales sheets, but it interfered with the process because customers would get distracted by the iPad instead of the process of communicating and connecting. So the first thing that we do when we go into sales is we sit down at the table and we talk to them. We just ask them all about their house. We ask them their old furnace, what they're looking for, all this kind of stuff, because the most important part of it is that in some ways, you don't need to connect to them in a buddy-buddy way. How I'm talking to this camera right now is how I talk to customers. I'm not talking in a, hey, how you doing? You got a nice dog and a beautiful house. Don't suck up. That's not trustable. It's not trustable because what you're saying is, hey, I will make you feel good about your house if you just buy something from me. That's the unsaid thing. It's not trustable. So you want to connect, you want to communicate. You don't have to suck up to them. You just have to be trustable. You got to be a good person. You have to communicate very, very well. So that also goes for hiring your employees. Hire your employees based on their ability to communicate with other people. The better they are at communicating, the better the employee they will be. There is communication is everything. So again, I appreciate everybody joining me. This is for servicegab.com. We are a service portal for or a hub for every service people or people looking for various things for their HVAC, carpet cleaning, various service businesses. So thank you for joining me, and I'm going to go through points number 11 through 25 on another broadcast. So thank you very much. Again, my name is Steve Gadsby, and it's for servicegab.com.